Maybe this is what happens when you grow up. You feel less joy.
Wow, that one's gonna stick with us for a while. Who knew that Pixar was making a documentary? Inside Out 2 has been crushing the box office, and it's no surprise that already speculation about Inside Out 3 is happening. And to be honest, it's almost inevitable that it will happen. So here's everything you need to know so far about a possible Inside Out 3. Inside Out 2 continues Riley's growth, and she begins to develop new emotions. With social problems mounting as Riley nears high school, her inner emotions begin to boil over as Inside Out 2's new emotions, anxiety, envy, embarrassment, and ennui begin to emerge. And honestly, this growth can just continue into an Inside Out 3, because we really haven't even touched the surface on what Riley's gonna go through as she grows up. I mean, we haven't even hit actual high school yet. So there's a multitude of different routes that Inside Out 3 could take, and honestly could even make a perfect trilogy for the Inside Out franchise. And whoa, before you even say anything about we don't need an Inside Out 3, people didn't even think we needed an Inside Out 2, and I think the box office numbers say otherwise. Inside Out 2 proves that sequels can be done right. But can a trequel, that's a word, right?
Anyway, where were we?
Is a trequel actually plausible? Is it actually something that fans would want? Well, let's see what the director actually has to say. In an interview with USA Today, director Kelsey Mann admits that there are already some ideas for a follow-up movie. Many, Mann notes, were intended to be in Inside Out 2, but needed to be cut for a variety of reasons. With so much love from the audiences, Mann expects that a third movie will be filled with everything that makes the franchise so interesting. Quoted as saying, "There's something about the Inside Out world where it's met with open arms. Everybody's like, what age is she? I can't wait to hear where she is in her life next." We have a whole stockpile of ideas. They're too good, they're too funny, they're too interesting for them not to be tapped into. But it should continue because I think it's something that the audience really wants. And I honestly agree that this is one of those franchises that just needs to continue to happen. With already ideas for a spin-off show on Disney Plus, an Inside Out 3 just makes a lot of sense. As we continue to grow as humans ourselves in our everyday lives, we experience so many different emotions, and sometimes ones that we need to get more comfortable with, such as anxiety in Inside Out 2. And she hasn't even touched high school yet, which means a whole roller coaster of emotions is bound to happen. And I still think that is one of the best ideas of all time, is an actual roller coaster in her head. Like, come on, Pixar, it's there. Please take it. Please take it.
Please.
So Inside Out is actually the perfect franchise for sequels because Riley is going to continue to grow up and experience new things. With a $200 million budget, Inside Out 2 has already passed that in the opening weekend. The franchise has proven that it is capable of surviving a summer that has seen a stretch of box office disappointments. But that is not the only reason that a sequel is likely on the way. The concept of the franchise means that it will constantly provide opportunities for growth. Quite literally. There's so many perfect ideas, such as Riley graduating high school or even her college experiences, especially if she gets that full ride scholarship as a hockey player, because you know that's inevitable. Inside Out 2's ending leaves a path for Riley to continue changing and developing her sense of self. With the challenges of joining the varsity hockey team ahead, she will continue to battle her anxieties while working to maintain relationships with old and new friends. But who could we actually see return in an Inside Out 3, you might be asking? There are some safe bets that could easily return in the third movie, even if the characters come back and the voice actors change, as we've seen with Inside Out 2. So regardless, we're probably going to see the core 5 emotions stay in because they are the heart of the film with Riley, but we may see some characters interchange and maybe some even disappear as emotions continue to develop as Riley gets older. She might have anxiety now, but as she gets into college, anxiety might disappear a little bit, and honestly could be replaced with like depression, because you know that's a big one that hasn't been touched on yet.
Interesting.
Much like the first movie, the ending of Inside Out 2 both ends the chapter of the story, but also leaves the door open for more in the future. While nothing was explicitly left hanging, it's clear that there will be some more challenges for the emotions as Riley continues to grow up. So what actually could be a great story for Inside Out 3? Because with a great solid story in the first one, and a second one that is actually one of the best sequels ever made, how do you make a third movie fit that same pattern? Well, Inside Out 3 could fast forward to Riley Riley's older teen years and explore her early romantic life and all the trials and tribulations that come with dating. As we know, dating is a huge factor in everyday human life, and multiple people and audience members would definitely connect with this. Being able to dive into the romantic life of Riley and maybe even possibly figuring out what's actually happening with that whole Jordan situation, because there was a little Easter egg in this second movie that he was a part of Mount Crushmore, so there's definitely more to explore there. But another great concept for the movie could jump even further ahead into the future and show Riley graduating high school and deciding on where to go for college. And this could even just be the pinnacle of the beginning of the movie, or even something where she decides to pick a college and must now learn how to struggle and adjust to life outside the nest. There's a ton of people that have to go through these decisions, and there's multitudes of emotions that go into these decisions. So being able to introduce some new characters and new emotions with some awesome voice actors would be a great part of this story moving forward, and showing the life of Riley through the concept of high school and graduating, or even just pursuing the college lifestyle and the workforce, and seeing how a more adult Riley reacts to the environment around her. New experiences are always happening, and you must learn how to deal with these emotions as you keep getting older, no matter if you're an adult or a kid. And Inside Out has showed us all every emotion is needed at one time or another. And spoilers for anyone that hasn't seen the second movie going forward, with their perfect development and creative process of showing what an anxiety attack is like, it would be also very interesting if Pixar decided to dive into one of the future Inside Out movies about some of the emotional and mental disorders that people go through, such as ADHD, autism, and multiple other things. This would be a very interesting concept to, be able to show kids that they are normal and that everyone goes through different issues, but it's dealing with those issues and how to react to those that these movies could show with how the emotions react to the situations. Either way, the Inside Out franchise has multiple different routes and avenues that a third movie could take, and honestly, ones that would just make the franchise even stronger going forward. I have to give kudos to Pixar for even coming up with this general idea of showing emotions as humans evolve and how to deal with them, because it literally provides a multitude of media, books, TV shows, future movies, and sequels around this franchise in particular. And this is just one of them from Pixar. So congratulations, Pixar, for creating something that literally multiple audience members react to and connect to.
Thanks, I try. Okay, let's do a sweep.
All I know is that I definitely want to see an Inside Out 3 after seeing Inside Out 2, because this movie brought me to tears again, and I cannot wait to see what other experiences I can relate to and honestly shed some more tears for, because man, these movies weigh on you.